Let's go ahead and find our attributes. First, notice that the center is 0, 0. Also, that the minor axis is at 5, 0. Now, going from 0, 0 to 5, 0, what changes? It's going to be the x value. And x, remember, is horizontal. So that tells us that our minor axis has to be horizontal. What about the major axis? The major axis is perpendicular to that. So if the minor axis is horizontal, that means the major axis has to be vertical. Well, what does that look like? Well, if we drew it, remember that the major axis is the long part. So the long part would be vertical. So the long part would go up and down. And we're using the letter A to go with that. So one piece of it would be A and the other piece of it would be A. So the whole major axis is 2A long. And we remember from the problem statement that the major axis, the length of it is 18. So if we connect the pieces together, what does it say about 2A? 2A has to equal 18. And if we divide both sides by 2, now we know that A is equal to 9. And if we square that 9, that tells us that A squared is equal to 81. So now let's go ahead and find our B squared. We'll notice that the minor axis endpoint was at 5, 0. So let's go ahead and write that down. And remember that when we go from the center to the minor axis endpoint, we're using the letter B. And when we go from 0, 0 to 5, 0, how many units do we go across, or how much does it change by? Well, it's going to change by 5. So what that tells us is that our B value is equal to 5. And if we square that, in other words, 5 times 5, our B squared has to equal 25. So let's write our equation. First of all, the center was at 0, 0. So just like in the previous example, we know that we're just going to have x squared and y squared in the numerator. The second thing is we want to figure out where do we put those two numbers, the b squared and the a squared. Well, we have a major axis that's vertical. So that means that vertical is y. That means the largest value is going to go under the y. So our a squared, our larger value, is going to go under the y. That means the b squared is going to go under the x. And so this is the equation that we have. Remember, the larger value in an ellipse, the longer side has to go with the orientation.